Magoo.
Miyabi is born in the Hoshimi family, a noble family of powerful warriors. This family is well known for their combat ability through one of the Void Hunters, the Sword Master. Hoshimi Miyabi was born to hold the sword with the potential to be the strongest. When she was a baby, the very first toy she chose was a sword. She is gifted with the genius talent of swordsmanship. For anyone in the Hoshimi family, this is great news, since they knew this is a sign for another powerful warrior to be born again among them.
Small, yet she chose a sword. Exactly what I'd expect from our most
I heard that
promising
sword's
heir.
power rivals the Void Hunters. It's the Hoshimi clan's biggest secret.
But apparently, not for her parents. They knew the fate that was waiting for their little daughter. A story they had probably heard countless times from their predecessor about someone who was destined to wield the power of the tailless sword, the demon sword.
My Miyabi doesn't need the demon sword. I just want her to live an ordinary, happy life.
Miyabi's mother is the most important and influential person in Miyabi's life. She is her trainer, role model, and inspiration for Miyabi, only caring for her daughter to live a normal life. Even though this sword maniac gremlin just keeps reaching for the sword, her mother keeps her away from the sword for a reason. I really like the way that her mother does not try to suppress her talent and force Miyabi against her will, but simply her intention was to protect her daughter, and making sure that she gets what she needs while the life of a warrior that is destined to await her. Because her mother knew that time was getting closer day by day, the time where her daughter lived on that path.
When I grow up, I want to be a hero just like the heads of our family.
Oh? Does my little Miyabi know what it really means to be a hero?
To destroy all the bad guys.
Heroes aren't born to destroy, Miyabi. They're born to protect. But all Mommy really wants is for you to grow up safe and sound. Because the path to becoming a hero often comes with losses that can't be undone.
But eventually, that day came to them, quickly and unexpectedly.
Mommy will always be with you. This is the only way. Miyabi. Listen to Mommy and close your eyes. This is our last training. Miyabi, don't be sad. Don't be afraid. Live on.
朝日の雨がくらむからあげ方には道の見えないまま歩く背が広がったし壊れた話
Always.
風だけ行かなきゃ
The fall of the Eridus city, the expansion of the biggest hollow in the world, Hollow Zero. These turned many intelligent beings into ethereal. They were attacked by these ethereals and cornered. Miyabi's mother fights them using the tailless, but fails. When the ether corruption almost took over her body, she knew there's no other way. Little Miyabi needs to take her fate to wield the sword. As soon as her tear touches the sword, it instantly consumes it, activating the power of the cursed sword. Then, her mother did the last thing that the sword needed to obtain its power from Miyabi: a sacrifice. Rapidly, the sadness and anger overflowed from her tiny body, becoming the fuel for the cursed sword. Suddenly, voices saying, "Kill," filled Miyabi's head. That curse is already bound to her. In an instant, Miyabi killed all the ethereals, with wrath and sorrow. This is the day where her path to becoming a hero tied her. So, what happened after that? A sword was stuck in the middle of the burning room, leaving Miyabi with a trauma that would follow her for the rest of her life. Slowly but surely, little Miyabi began to absorb the cruel reality where her loved one had just been killed. Miyabi cried as ominous giant eyes were watching behind her, supposedly the embodiment of ancient ethereal that trapped inside the sword. Time passed. Years and years, Miyabi and her father visiting the memorial of the victims of the incident, staring at her mother's name, with a feeling of regret that never goes away. Miyabi's life was hollow, losing someone, a terrible event that happened before her eyes, holding back Miyabi from even touching a sword, the only thing she really likes. Miyabi was still scared. The eyes of the devil were still staring at her. But there is still a glimmer of hope in her heart to fulfill her late mother's last request, to not be sad, not be afraid, and to live on. That's when she started visiting the disaster zone, seeing the same horrific sight on the day she lost her mother, and the same frightened little girl. Tightly, Miyabi hugged the child, protecting her from her fear.
Heroes aren't born to destroy, Miyabi. They're born to protect.
Finally, Miyabi learned the true meaning of her mother's words. This awakened her desire to become a hero, because she had the power to protect. For her mother's request, she wanted to no longer be afraid and face her fears, to fulfill her destiny to become a hero. And that's where she was faced again with the cursed sword, the same sword that had taken her mother's life. The moment she touched it, the curse returned to Miyabi's body. The curse devoured her coldly, as if drowning Miyabi in a vortex that would swallow her. Then, a familiar figure approached her. Miyabi's eyes sparkled when she saw the person she loved so much embrace her warmly again, saving her from the vortex. Miyabi's mother was part of the sword's power now, and her promise to little Miyabi to always be there for Miyabi was true. And unlike other fathers who take milk from tragic stories, Shuichiro Hoshimi supports his daughter's wishes, designing a sheath and scabbard that can withstand her curse. The two have made peace with the past and moved on. When she returns to that place, Miyabi has become a graceful warrior, ready to protect and prevent others from experiencing the same sorrow she experienced. In the near future, yet again, we see another hollow expansion, a similar one to Hollow Zero. People run in fear as the hollow swallows them. It is seen that the hollow is expanding rapidly, making all defense organizations such as Defense Force, HA&D, and TOPS involved to contain this disaster. The sound of hurried footsteps could be heard inside the airship. Then we saw a familiar figure. Hoshimi Miyabi. Standing tall, it has now become the greatest force in the HND organization. Without waiting long, Miyabi asked about the situation, wanting to immediately attack the Hollow before it was too late. Then, a mysterious figure interrupts the action. A mysterious young woman, who is a consultant for the TOPS organization, holds Miyabi back with mocking manners.
Ah, you're here.
Commander, what's the situation?
The Argos Hollow has suddenly peaked in activity and breached level 2 controls within half an hour. It's expanding at an unprecedented rate. The HIA, public security in hand, have all organized multiple assaults, but they've all failed. Currently, we still don't...
All right, understood. Have we arrived?
Commander, is she your so-called ultimate weapon? Young, reckless, and lacking manners.
Commander, why is there a civilian on the monitoring ship?
This is a consultant from TOPS Alliance. She'll be assisting with the operation.
A pleasure to work with you, Executive Officer.
The two argue, and here we learn that behind the Hollow's expansion is an abnormal symbiotic ethereal known as Lerna. The previous attack caused Lerna to create several false cores, making direct attacks useless and only making matters worse. Then, while the conversation was going on, the Hollow expanded beyond their expectations. Now they had less time to act. This argument would determine the fate of humanity. The Hollow had already devoured 60% of Shiyu's pillar. Their hopes were slim. Soon the Shiyu pillar would be completely swallowed. The consultant steered the conversation in an unpleasant direction, bringing silence to the room.
How shall we proceed, Miss Consultant?
Considering its current progression, Argos will completely swallow Shuyu number 7.
You want to blow up the Shuyu pillar?
A large enough explosion could annihilate all ethereals in the Hollow at once, including Lerna.
I can't accept that. How could you?
Call it standard procedure.
147 civilians, 36 PubSec officers, 17 investigators, 8 executive officers. That's 208 casualties. Far more than standard.
But compared to the civilians outside Argos, it's a worthwhile sacrifice.
Right, and it'll protect High Ambition's assets east of Argos too. Real worthwhile.
Are you accusing TOPS of having ulterior motives?
Oh, we wouldn't dare. Commander, we...
New Eridu can't afford another Great Hollow.
Sir, please give me 5 minutes. If we can't tell which cores are real, then it's simple. We'll just destroy all cores within 5 minutes. I believe that 208 lives are worth 5 minutes.
I understand you're skilled, Miss Hoshimi, but there are many problems that cannot be resolved with violence.
Have you ever fought inside a hollow before?
I've already told you!
And you've already been told. I'm the ultimate weapon in this operation.
Commander, stop her now! If Argos becomes a Great Hollow, it'll be on you!
Executive Officer Hoshimi, do you read me? In 5 minutes, Argos' growth activity will reach an all-time peak. Considering the time it'll take to get there, you have about 3 minutes to slay Lerna. If you fail, I will detonate the Shuyu pillar. You only have 1 chance.
You have my gratitude.
And just like that, she saved humanity from the creation of a Great Hollow, protecting many lives. She has come a long way to get here, to be an actual hero that protects. Her mother must be proud of her. But her journey doesn't end here. After that incident, she was given a title by the mayor as a Void Hunter, someone who single-handedly suppressed the expansion of Argos Hollow, the strongest. She also became a chief of the newest Hollow Special Operations Section 6, recruiting people that were on the ship, Asaba Harumasa and Sekishiro Yanagi. Miyabi believes in the moral similarities between the two, as well as their abilities that can complement Miyabi in fighting evil.
Did you need something from us? A weapon isn't just a blade. And not all of New Eridu's issues can be solved with the blade. I trust the two of you. With your abilities, we shall expose the roots, and I shall be the blade that severs the corruption.